From the unknown to the stars, from the couch to the car, from the unheralded and the unheard, to the legends and beyond, it's where we all belong. Yes, this is where it all starts. From every genre, from every plane, this is where the music's played. So tune right in, won't you bring a friend? This is where it all begins. Welcome to the show, let the music flow of every style and creed. And you can bet your socks that ETX rocks, ETX rocks.
Hey guys, Boston Chris here with the #1 resource for independent music in Northeast Texas. It's the ETX Rock Show. We're coming at you from Longview, Texas with episode number 319 featuring singer-songwriter Morgan Ashley. How are you doing today, Morgan?
I'm so good. How are you?
We're great. Now, Morgan is visiting us from College Station. Now, you're originally from Columbus.
That's right.
So where's Columbus located?
Columbus is, well, the way I describe it, which this is a very broad area, but it's between Houston and San Antonio on I-10.
Okay, there's a lot in between.
There's a lot in between there.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's a stoplight town. If you're on I-10 and you're driving, you're just gonna
That's
go
pretty
right,
much all
right
of
past
Texas,
it.
right? If you're not in one of the big cities, you live in a stoplight town somewhere.
Yeah.
You're either in the stoplight town or you're on the outskirts of a stoplight town. That's what Texas is made up of. She brought her guitar, as you can see. It's a beautiful Taylor guitar, and she's going to play several songs for us today. The first one's called Wild Card. Tell us a little bit about it.
I wrote Wild Card with these two gentlemen, Jack Williams and Troy Johnson, in Nashville, and I came with the title Wild Card, and I was like, I really want to write this song, and I had some lyrics going for it, and that was probably one of the fastest, most fun songwriting session I've ever had, just because I feel like the song is really fun, and like the verses especially go with my personality, I think. So it was a lot of fun.
Cool. So this was written in Nashville.
Indeed.
Very cool. All right, guys, so it's Wild Card by Morgan Ashley for the first time ever in the ETX Rocks Living Room.
Sometimes I'm nice, sometimes I'm mean. Most days I land somewhere in between. I like a long time, but in a party crowd, I get good and loud, good and loud. Yeah, I'm
All right, so we are back. Once again, it's episode number 319 featuring Morgan Ashley. Now, Morgan looks young, but she's actually a veteran of the game now. For a couple of years you've been at this.
Yes.
This is her third single that she's promoting right now, which you guys will hear a little bit later in the show. It's called Come Find Me. But not only are you, obviously you're a female in the state of Texas, which is a difficult thing when you're in the country music game, but 2 top 40 hits coming into this third single. As a female, that's amazing.
Yeah, well, thank you. I was really excited, and I couldn't have hoped for anything more.
It's a good start, I would say, for sure. Now, I know we talk about this on air quite often, but when we have an artist come in, we do send them a questionnaire beforehand because we want to know a little bit about the artist so we have something to talk about. And Morgan's was chock full of
I sent
information.
him a novel.
It was great. It was well, novels are fiction though. I hope you didn't send me fiction.
Oh no, none of that. I just told you the whole story basically.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing though because we have a lot to draw from.
Yeah.
You are yet another artist that got her start from FFA.
Oh yeah, I did.
Now we've heard this before on the show. Now I'm from outside the state of Texas. So the whole FFA concept is completely lost on me.
Oh, really?
So it's Future Farmers of America. I've had to research this because I'm from Massachusetts. But apparently to raise money for FFA, they do a talent show every year. Is that right?
Yep.
And so this is how Morgan Ashley went from non-artist to artist. So tell us about that.
Well, I was involved in FFA. I showed animals, I showed cattle, I rode horses, and did all the projects like that, and did the leadership competitions and things like that. And my ag teacher talked me into doing the talent show because, when we're in the car going places, I would always just mess around singing, never serious about it. And, of course, at that point, I would not actually sing in front of people. It just made me so nervous. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I've never been more nervous in my life. But I got up there, and I sang to background tracks. And other people who were in the competition played the guitar, and I was just completely blown away by it. And I picked up a guitar right after that. And a few months later, I was getting up on stage at open mic nights and played my first show not long after that too, actually. So I definitely owe a lot of my life to FFA just for being the person I am today, and of course music as well.
Now we've heard this same story multiple times before on the show, which I think is ridiculous because FFA has nothing to do with music.
Yep.
It's all about ag, right? It's about agriculture, but yet there are artists out there that owe their careers to FFA.
I feel like I've learned, even more than just showing animals. You learn a lot of responsibility and leadership and things like that from having animals and the responsibility of taking care of them. So even though it's generated towards one idea, I feel like the broad idea helps you in everything.
And I love Morgan's story because it starts there for music. Obviously, your story started before that. But
Right.
for music, your music story started with FFA, and it just kind of, your path was always music from that step forward. You saw people with guitars. Man, I want to learn how to play guitar. Now you're on stage. Now you're learning guitar from a guitar teacher.
Yep.
Then you end up going to Nashville with the guitar teacher as a duo.
Yes.
It's crazy how this path just led you to where you are now.
It is crazy.
So you're a youngster. You're 17, 18 years old when you head out to Nashville?
Oh, I was like, I'm 22. No, I was 17.
When you went to
18.
Nashville?
I might have been 18. It was in 2015.
Okay.
So 18, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very quick. So the time from you're in that talent show to going to Nashville, that happened really fast for you.
It did, yeah. Well, I graduated a year early from high school, which was just a coincidence. I did a semester at Blinn College at A&M, and my guitar teacher lived in Katy, the Houston area at the time, and I would travel, and we would write, and she would teach me things on the guitar, and we played shows together, and we kind of turned it into a duo thing, and her dream had always been to move to Nashville, and of course I'm a starry-eyed young kid who's, I don't know much about the music business, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And we moved to Nashville, and it was an amazing experience. she wanted to stay there, and I realized quickly afterwards that I wanted to pursue music in Texas. So I moved back, and that's when I started my solo thing in about 2017.
Now, I'm leading Morgan into the crux of where I'm going with the episode. Because when you're a young artist, identity is such a huge thing when you're trying to be commercial or not.
Right.
You know, there's always that struggle between commercial and identity. But for you, you're young, you're still learning, and then all of a sudden you're in Nashville. So for me as an outsider and as a fan of yours, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, her identity's going to take a back seat to everything right now because you're 18 and now you're in Nashville. Like, so what was that like? Was it hard for you to even begin the evolution process as an artist?
Yeah, well, it was my first time being away from my parents, first of all.
Culture shock?
Yeah, culture shock. And I don't know, just the realization of being so young in a town like that. I couldn't play at venues because I wasn't 21 yet, because the laws are different there. And I just felt like, this is the way that I see it, if you can't create a fan base from where you're from, like a large fan base from Texas, then how can I expect to move to Nashville where there's a million other people who look like me who are great?
Yep.
And, go from there. So I want to start in Texas. I'm not limiting myself or anything like that, but I love the Texas music scene, and of course I'm from here, and I got a big old Texas tattoo, so...
You gotta have that. Unless you're from outside of Texas, then it would be a little awkward. Like you Illinois folks, no.
Yeah. Just
don't do it. Walking around Chicago with a Texas tattoo probably
wouldn't work out.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, so not only that, but being in Nashville, but also part of a duo.
Yes.
So the identity is the duo.
Oh,
you
yeah,
have
right.
a combined identity.
I learned a lot from the experience, and still today, it's still a part of me.
Right.
But in even coming back from Nashville, it took me a good year at least before I felt comfortable again, because I had never sang on my own. I had always, really just known it with her.
So when you came back, what did you start? Like, what was the plan?
Well, I worked at Starbucks at the time.
Barista?
I was
That's
a
barista.
What's up. I wasn't going to college, so I was working full-time at Starbucks and playing shows here and there, songwriting, and, I finally got some momentum in playing shows back every weekend again on my own, and then I finally recorded a few songs, and I released my first EP, which is out there and available, but of course that was just my baby record or whatever, so it's like nothing like what I'm going for.
So the full length project was your second project?
Yes.
First one that was ever released to radio, though. Right?
Yes, yeah, Your Girl was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and it's an incredible record, and I'm kind of leading towards that because I want to hear. One of the things you wrote in the questionnaire was, I'm a young artist, and I'm still trying to figure out who I am, and I want to be honest. So I look at that, and then I listen to your record, and I can hear that struggle sometimes in your record. Do you, as an artist, feel that struggle either A, when you're writing, or B, when you're recording, or any of that?
To be honest with myself.
Well, no, just trying to figure out who you are.
Yeah.
Who Morgan Ashley is as an artist.
Well, it's hard not to take people's opinions to heart, because they say take everything with a grain of salt, which I can say I do all day long, but the truth is I'm gonna really listen to it and contemplate it. But no, I think my main thing is just sticking to what in my gut I feel is right. I'm wanting to write songs about me and my personal experiences, and I know that there are people that are going to connect with them, and I've had some people say that my music is too me, which...
To you?
I'm writing about me too much, it's about your story, you should write a more universal song, and I just wasn't...
I think whoever said
wasn't
that...
agreeing with that.
Yeah, I don't think that's the way... I don't think that's the way you go at all, because look, songwriting is all about perspective. Okay, we all have... I'm not a songwriter, don't get me wrong. I'm not a songwriter. I can barely click a pen. But it's all about perspective, and it's all about self-experience. And we're all human beings. We can all relate to what each other is going through, and we all probably have gone through something similar, if not very close.
For sure.
So the connection's always going to be there, no matter what your experience is that you're writing about. So I would say write more you, not less you.
Yeah. So that's one thing, writing about myself, and of course releasing music, and I'm still trying different things, so I'm still figuring that out as well. But I think just ultimately just going with, in the end, what I feel is the right thing to do. That's what I need to do, because I get caught up listening to
And
other
do you
people.
struggle with the age-old adage of commercialism or versus your own likes? Or do you feel like they mesh pretty well?
I think they do. I think, I've taken songwriting classes, and I've done everything, read books on it and everything, so I feel like I automatically kind of have a more commercial approach at songwriting, and then just like the words involved are more, I don't know if you would call it commercial, I have no idea.
Right.
But, just go along with it.
So where does your sound lie?
My sound.
Would you say, yeah, genre-wise?
Genre? I mean, I'm just sticking with saying that it's country.
Okay.
And that's it. I'm not going to say it's, red dirt country. It's not pop country. It's just, I don't know. It's just my sound. I never know how to answer that question, honestly.
Yeah.
But I would say when I'm writing, I think of having like a no-bart attitude, showing all the different sides of me, because songwriters, I mean, we're all a little crazy.
Well, it's funny because we talked off camera a little bit about this, and especially about Bad Boy Chaser, and we were talking about how Your Girl and the current single Come Find Me are pretty similar in their cadence and their delivery and all that stuff. And her words were, this is not me saying this is her. She said Bad Boy Chaser was way out there.
It was, yeah.
So where did that come from? Because that's kind of the outlier, right, for you?
Yeah, I would say that Your Girl and Come Find Me have the more traditional type country approach, and Bad Boy Chaser was more rockish and out there, and I feel like as an artist I have both influences within me, so all my music coming forward is always going to be a mixture of everything, I feel like. So, because Wild Card is even different than all of the songs that I have out there. So yeah,
which I love, by the way, Wild Card, which we played a little bit earlier. Amazing song.
Thank you.
But you can definitely see the evolution process for that song as opposed to the stuff you already have out.
Yeah, definitely. And even just being like in the studio recording, I recorded those 5 songs within like 3 hours, and like the LP, which, I mean, that's 10 songs, but that took me 2 days. So I just feel like as time has gone by, I'm more comfortable with the songs that I'm writing and everything like that.
Do you feel like the more you record, the more you're in the studio, the more comfortable you are with being vocal?
I think so. I think so for sure. I mean, it's always weird putting those, headphones on and like hearing like just your voice coming out of there.
Right.
But you just gotta own it.
Well, I mean, this is your 3rd project now, so you should be able to like pick out certain things that you wouldn't have noticed on your first project.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, even my voice has just like changed.
Yeah.
So.
And one of the things she was adamant about on her questionnaire: no vocal lessons ever. This is who you are.
Yeah. I mean, I tried a vocal lesson one time before, and I was like, I don't know. I just didn't feel like it was doing anything for me.
Yeah.
Like I can look up vocal warm-ups online if I want to. I don't know. I'm not saying that I don't need them.
No, you don't. You have a killer
but
voice.
It's
amazing.
Haven't done them.
Absolutely amazing voice. The first time I ever heard her live was today, and I'm blown away. Absolutely blown away.
Thank you.
And I can see what your ag teacher was thinking. So, yeah, good job. Hell of a job on that. Now, there's a big step between singing with backing tracks at a talent show and becoming a songwriter.
Definitely.
So tell us what led you to want to write a song.
Well,
and what are you writing about at first?
It's really funny, actually. I wrote songs when I was really little. Like, junior high, I guess, or even younger, and I wrote songs
Like
about my
lunch money
cows.
kind of stuff,
Yeah.
Cows.
I wrote songs about my cows.
Of course, yeah.
And my horses, and that's what I wrote about a long time ago. And then after I picked up a guitar and I had to write, I wrote about, what a girl would write about, which is a boy.
Right.
Right? So, yeah, my first song will never see the light of day. It's called Speechless. And, yeah, it will never see the light of day.
Well, it's the perfect name for a song that'll never be heard.
Yep. Here we go.
Oh, man. Sorry about that, guys. The dad jokes are real with this one, for real. But yeah, we're sitting here with Morgan Ashley, first time on the show. Again, we do a live stream and we ask several questions again, unfortunately. But you and I met at the award show, the TRRRMAs, something like that.
Something like that.
Texas Regional Radio Music Awards, which you've been nominated for in the past. You've been part of the Future Faces show as well.
Yes.
That's going to be pretty cool for an artist, right? Being recognized.
It was amazing because within, the last year, I've had, this is my third single now out on the radio, and I got to play the Future Faces show and was nominated for the new female vocalist, and that was all very overwhelming. I feel like you go through parts of like your career where you're just like, what is going on? Like I feel like I'm getting no further, and then something like that happens and it makes you, oh yeah.
And it's going to be cool. Now, I've never been an artist, okay, and I've never been a young female artist. I know, right? Shocker. But I can imagine as a young 22-year-old singer-songwriter to be mentioned in the same breath as people like Bree Bagwell and Wade Bowen and all these other huge stars. It's going to be pretty, not just cool, but overwhelming in a sense, right? It was
really cool walking the red carpet at the T3R's awards. I don't know how to say it either. And seeing, I'm going blank now. Randy Rogers was in there, Kevin Fowler.
Yeah.
They were all just right there. And then it really sunk in whenever the awards was actually going on and Randy Travis was getting presented.
That blew me away.
Oh, I had tears in my eyes. I was just like, it was crazy.
That's when you know, like, man, Texas is cool, man.
I know.
Texas is so damn cool.
We have it going on.
Yeah.
And people in Nashville don't even realize how cool we have it down here. Like, we have our own chart, and, like, they don't even know.
Yeah. Well, they know.
I mean,
they don't want to mention it.
Yeah.
That's all. So there's going to be a moment in time when you're sitting there and you're looking up at Randy Travis and you're like, man, I don't regret that Nashville move at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what's the next step for Morgan Ashley? You mentioned a new EP in the works.
Yes, the new EP. There's going to be more music videos that I can't wait to do. And, just broadening my area of where I'm playing shows at. I want to get up in Oklahoma and Mexico and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, just gonna go with the flow and see what happens next, really.
And this girl works her butt off. I was gonna say ass, but we're not supposed to say ass on this show. Damn it, I said it 3 times. Oh well, she works her ass off. You really do. I look at Bree Bagwell as kind of like the spearhead for women in the state.
Definitely.
And I always say to the young girls, do what Bree does. Mm-hmm. If you can do half of what Bree does, then you have a chance. Mm-hmm. Because Bree legitimately works her ass off. So when I see Morgan Ashley come along and I see all the shows you're doing, I see all the new stuff coming out from you, I see a lot of Bree in you. So just keep doing what you're doing. We're super stoked to have you here for the first time. We hope it's not going to be the last.
Nope.
Every single single, come on back.
Oh, for sure.
And speaking of songs, she's going to do more for us. Now, the second song you're going to do is Rodeo Cowboy.
Indeed.
And this is on the new EP that you're working on. Mm-hmm. So tell us about the song. This was actually written on Radio Tour, right?
Yes, it was. I guess it's been over a year ago now. Whenever I was on Radio Tour for my first single, Your Girl, I was thinking about this. It's about a real rodeo cowboy that I knew, and I won't name him, even though I would love to. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I started playing a little beat. I was at my great grandma's house up in the Panhandle area, spending the night. I was like doing the Amarillo, Lubbock area at the time, and I sat down and I started playing it, I wrote most of the song while I was sitting there, probably within 45 minutes, and then of course, over the next few days after that, I was tweaking it and doing things to it. So this is my mom's favorite song of mine.
It's very angsty.
It is.
I like an angsty song. Guys, it's Rodeo Cowboy from Morgan Ashley, live from ETX ROCKS. Go check it out.
Like a tattoo. I've never seen him not covered in red dirt. He has a white horse stained blue. Nothing and no one will ever come first. Now rodeo. He's a rodeo cowboy, never gonna settle down. He's a one night stand, moving from town to town. Summertime sadness that you can't fight through. A rodeo cowboy, never gonna settle down with you. Boots worn down to the soles, making small winnings and barely getting by, living off snuff and coke. Left his heart in the behind without rodeo. He's a rodeo cowboy, never gonna settle down. He's a one night stand, moving from town to town. A summertime sadness that you can't fight through. A rodeo cowboy, never gonna settle down with you. Never gonna settle down. I know you think he can change. For your sake, I hope he does. You're going blind to the fire range. 'Cause all he'll ever feel love is that rodeo. He's a rodeo cowboy, never gonna settle down. He's a one night stand, moving from town to town. A summertime sadness that you can't fight through. A rodeo cowboy, never gonna settle down with you. Never gonna settle down with you.
All right, so we are back again. We're sitting with Morgan Ashley for the first time on the show. And now, songwriters are kind of unique creatures in the sense that let me put it this way. In a sense that most of y'all are alike, but most of y'all are completely different from each other as well.
For sure.
And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. I know it makes no sense. Okay, the songwriting process is so unbelievably different from one songwriter to the next.
Oh, yeah.
But you guys all get to the same place somehow. So what I mean by that is some songwriters can sit, and you talked about Wildcard, where you had a song title, you had a few lyrics, probably a hook for the song, and you just had to fill in the blanks. Some songwriters, it just comes out of midair,
Right.
almost like you're a conduit. What works for you? What's your process like?
I honestly don't have a process. I jot down ideas in my phone whenever I get them, and I typically, when I sit down, I start writing with the chorus. Start with the hook because that's the most important part of the song. So I start with that, and then after I get the chorus, I start working on the verses and supporting the idea of the chorus. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I've done it every way, and I can't say that there is a set way that it happens every time.
Yeah.
Because you just never know.
Are you working within a structure as well? Because you talk about writing a chorus, because like the structure is verse, chorus, bridge,
Right.
chorus. Is that structure there, or are you just like throwing that out the window?
I would say that there is some structure, but not all of my songs have bridges in them.
Right.
You know, I take it with a grain of salt. I take the structure with a grain of salt because I feel like every song has its own unique personality, if you can say that. I don't know about a song.
Yeah, absolutely, of course.
So, you know, I just take it song by song and see what.
I think we were talking with Sean McConnell, and he was the one that said the song kind of leads the way. It just kind of, it's kind of like the bus driver and the passenger.
Yeah.
And we hear that a lot from people, you know, where it's just like, look, I'm not thinking about structure. The song just takes me where it wants to go, and that's where we end up. With you, like, I keep going back to what you said about Wildcard and having the title first. Where are you getting the title from? Is it just something you hear in everyday life? Are you watching TV, listening to the radio? How does that work for you?
Well, I feel like that particular thing, I think honestly, I was just like, I want to write a song called Wild Card. And I like put it in my notes. And I was thinking about how I'm a wild card because I feel like I am. But I mean, that was one particular thing. And then there's like other times where I just like, I'm feeling something and I start writing and I get through like the chorus and then there's the hook. So I don't know, it's really just all of it.
You feel like sometimes you're writing and you have the hook, you think you have the hook. You're writing the song and then the hook changes later.
Yep, that's what happened.
Yeah.
It just happened like 2 days ago actually. I had a song called What Are You Doing? And now it's, or what are we doing? And now it's called What Do We Do? It's similar, but it's still different in terms of the song.
Yeah, it's cool. It's free flowing, ever changing. You just never know. Vince Gill said that. What song was it that he was talking about? Oh, it was the #1 hit.
I'm trying to think.
And it changed. It used to be a rock, like a upbeat, and then he changed to a ballad. And it was one of his biggest hits. And he said, "Man, we just changed it in the studio. It was written this way, and we changed it, and now it's the way it is."
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was. I'll have to go back and look at the episode. But like changing it on the way to the studio, like
that's
freaking
crazy.
songwriters.
It wasn't Look at Us, was it?
No,
No.
it was.
Whenever You Come Around.
Yep, Whenever You Come Around, that was it.
That
That was
was it.
supposed to be like an upbeat, like two-stepping kind of song, and it ended up being what it ended up being. And it was changed on the way to the studio.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it happens a lot with you songwriters. Like, you just can't make up your minds. I don't know what that's about.
It's a thing.
Now, we were talking with Morgan about a lot of different things about songwriting. And I know that you've written songs alone, and you've written songs with other people. You've also recorded songs written by complete other people that you had no part in. What's harder for you? Is it writing alone with a person or picking a song?
Well, I would say the hardest thing is writing alone because you only have your brain to work with.
What do you like doing the most?
Well, I like writing by myself because I can just be completely honest with myself and I don't care, you know, because nobody's listening to me while I'm writing by myself. But I also really like the co-writing persona. Is that the word? I don't know. I keep trying to use words that I don't know if they fit.
Maybe process?
Yeah.
Co-writing process?
I really like the co-writing process because you can, you have 3 people or however many people working on the same idea, and everybody has their own like perspective of what we're writing about, and it's really cool just to get like, oh, that's really cool, like, and you would have never thought of something like that. So I really like co-writing.
I feel like songwriters have different strengths too. You know, like some might be melodic based, some might be more wordsmith, you know, lyrical and stuff like that. So you can kind of draw from each other's strengths and end up with a killer song that way.
Yeah, for sure. That's 100%. And I'm okay with getting outside songs. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. Obviously, I have Come Find Me by 3 amazing songwriters. But I do like to stay more on path to something that I've written because I feel like that's more me than it's ever gonna get.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
So even though with Come Find Me, I got chills when I heard it and like tears in my eyes, and I was like, this song is amazing, and I totally could have, would have written something like that. I felt like it was just completely me.
That's when you hear
so
a
it worked
song,
out.
you're like, man, I should have wrote that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, dang it, they beat me to the idea.
And we're talking about Come Find Me, which was co-written by a real good friend of ours, Leslie Satcher, who I understand you're actually a big fan of.
Yes, I want to meet her.
All right, so we're going to have to make that happen. I'm going to tag you, Leslie, in this, and of course, Leslie's sweet husband, David. I'm going to tag both of y'all in this song. They actually have a house here in East Texas.
Oh, cool.
So maybe we can make that happen somewhere along the way.
Let's do that.
David, let's get Morgan and Leslie together. That would be a killer songwriting, co-writing session.
It would. That would be
That would be
amazing.
a lot of fun. I'm going to try to make that happen.
Please do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So David and Leslie, Morgan's a good girl, and she's killing it with your song right now. So, and we're going to play "Come Find Me" a little bit later at the end of the show from Morgan Ashley. The song is already top 80 in Texas, I think, or 81 after the third week out. 3 weeks is not very long.
Yes.
And all right, so if people are hearing about Morgan Ashley for the first time, where can folks follow along with everything you have going on?
I would definitely check out my website, morganashleyofficial.com. It has links to everything, so you can just branch out from there and go to my YouTube channel, Instagram, and Facebook, and like I was telling him earlier, I don't use Twitter, but all the other things.
Twitter's a ghost town. What is it about Twitter?
I don't know. I personally didn't like how many notifications I was getting on my phone, and it was totally unnecessary to me. Like, I didn't care about the
What are
notifications.
you going to do if you become famous?
Turn my notifications off altogether.
I'm going to have a team, Boston. That's what's gonna
I will
happen.
probably not have a phone. I'll just be like, please, somebody
You can
else.
do what Daryl Dodd does. You just have a flip phone. Flip phone.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I say that, I wouldn't have a phone, but my phone is right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We had Daryl on the show and we talked for a good 5 minutes about flip phone. Flip phones. What the hell? Why is that so hard to say, Daryl? Flip phone. And so we titled the episode Flip Phone Extraordinaire. And he absolutely loved it. And so we just don't be surprised if a future Daryl Dodd song comes out called the Flip Phone
That's what I mean.
Extraordinaire.
That'll be good.
And I will want my fifth and not a vodka either, Daryl. You know I like tequila. But it's Morgan Ashley. It's morganashleyofficial.com. We'll put that down in the description down below so you guys can just click on that and boom, you're over there. You'll have links to all of her social media, not her Twitter because she doesn't want her phone blown up. So there's Facebook and Instagram. The music is available everywhere, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube,
All the things.
iTunes. So support the artists, make sure you're buying the music. And as I've said on the show before, if you're a big fan of Morgan's, buy the music, put it on your phone, then stream it.
Yeah,
And then
definitely.
she gets it twice. Do that. Buy, then stream.
What he said.
Yeah, do that. And of course, the new single is Come Find Me. So you guys need to be calling your local radio stations, or as she says, your favorite radio stations.
It doesn't have to be your favorite, but.
No, she's not going to say that anymore, you watch. She's like, just call your radio station.
Yeah.
Even your least favorite one. Now, if you're living in Denmark, they have radio there too. So you Danish people,
There
come
you go.
find me, Morgan Ashley, make it happen. We actually have viewers everywhere, so I have to say stuff like that. And I think it was, who was it? Post Profit, which is a East Texas band. They are #1 in Australia right now with their current single.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Same sad song.
I want to go there.
I saw that the other day and I was like, yep. I wonder if we helped with that. Because we have a lot of Australian viewers. I mean a lot.
Oh, that's awesome.
So where I need to change my accent sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm curious sometimes if the Aussie people are watching it in subtitles.
Oh, really? Was that sarcasm?
It was
That went
definitely-
over my head.
Definitely sarcasm. They speak English in Australia.
I knew that. That's why I was just like, wait, what? Anyway, I'm just digging myself in a hole here.
No, you're doing fine. We'll pull all of this out. All right, guys, we definitely want to thank you guys for tuning in to the 319th episode of the ETX Rocks Show, featuring the one and only Morgan Ashley's first appearance on the show. Won't be the last, right?
Right.
Okay, I did not set her up with the joke over the head, I promise. I hope you still like us.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It was fun.
Remember, the single is Come Find Me. Request it, morganashleyofficial.com. If you're tuned into us for the first time, we want to thank you guys for spending some time with us. You can find us on all social media, including Twitter, even though it's a ghost town. And we're located at ETX Rocks. We have a brand new webpage, www.etxrocks.show. It's not a .com, it's .show. Over 10,000 hours of content available there. If you're a music fan, you haven't been to our webpage yet, what are you waiting for? Get over there. If you're watching on high definition video over on the YouTube, make sure you're hitting that subscription button or subscribe. And I think there's a bell there too that you're supposed to ring. It doesn't actually make a noise when you ring it though, super weird. I don't know why. YouTube, get on that. I guess the bell just makes it so notification comes,
Yeah.
which you don't like apparently.
Well, I'm not opposed, but unnecessary.
She
ones.
totally said she was opposed to notifications earlier in the show. Rewind that.
I mean.
But yeah, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell there for your notifications. And as we've said on this show for 319 episodes now, we want to thank you guys out there for always supporting live music of all genres and all styles. And don't ever forget,
ETX rocks.
that's right.
I don't know what car you drive or the color of your eyes. If you got a crooked smile or if you're Mr. Serious. Are you a pair of faded jeans?
from the couch to the car, from the unheralded and the unheard, to the legends and beyond. It's where we all belong. Yes, this is where it all starts. From every genre, from every plane, this is where the music's played. So tune right in, won't you bring a friend? This is where it all begins. Welcome to the show, let the music flow of every style and creed. And you can bet your socks that ETX rocks, ETX rocks.